Hello and welcome to my channel. That was a really weird rave. Anyway, today I've got another video for you about my motorcycle. Because for those of you who have followed my channel for a little bit longer, like 2 weeks or so, I did a video 2 weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, I think, if I remember my own schedule correctly, about the whole process of getting a motorcycle license and then getting a actual motorcycle, tips and tricks and things to like look out for, things that are good to know. And yeah, it just seemed like a fun idea to now that I have had the motorcycle for a few weeks to do sort of a continuation, because I did actually gather some more things that I think are very good to know beforehand. Not really things I regret or anything, just things that I only really realized now that I'm like riding a motorcycle myself. So yeah, let's get into it. Now the first thing is basically to speak with the words of Nike, just do it. I don't know, like maybe it's just me, like, well, I'm pretty sure there's more people who feel like this, but like I always sort of have this like imposter syndrome with stuff like this. Like I also had it like 10 years ago with my driving license for my car. I really felt like everyone knew what they were doing and I was just pretending to know what I was doing. And of course you're very inexperienced when you've only just got the license, so technically you don't really know what you're doing as well as people who already have a lot of experience. But they wouldn't have given you the license if you couldn't drive safely, so you do sort of know what you're doing, you know? So yeah, just go do it, just go ride, like make a goal for yourself, like when it's like dry weather at least. Go out and go ride like 2 times a week, 3 times a week, just to get used to the bike, just to get used to your own bike, and just to get used to like driving around without a driving instructor with you. I don't know, like it's just, if you put a goal up like that for yourself, then you really like have this method of like pushing yourself out the door to actually go practice. And practice makes perfect, and it's just the more you ride the motorcycle, the easier it's going to get. I already feel more confident than I did in the beginning like 3 weeks ago, so that says a lot. I've also used it to drive to work and back, obviously. And yeah, this just gives you a chance to really practice with it, which is really nice. I do want to mention, you know, stick to your own limits. Like, you know, you don't, like, if you see another motorcycle go around the corner at like 130 kilometers per hour on the highway, you don't have to do the exact same thing, because if you don't feel confident yet, just ride 100 kilometers per hour, you know, just, you know, keep up with the traffic. Like, don't go ride way slower than everyone else, obviously, because that's dangerous. But like, you don't have to do everything at top speed. Like, literally just do it the way you are comfortable with it, because you're still, you know, you're still getting the experience, you're still learning. Give yourself the chance to learn without pushing yourself to do everything at top speed immediately, because you totally don't have to, and just, you know, stay safe basically. So yeah, but either way, just, you know, do it at your own pace, but the most important thing is to just go ride. Then the second thing that is, well, this one is an advice that I would have loved to know beforehand, really. Of course, during the lessons, you also sometimes have to get gas. However, you know, I was sitting on a motorcycle and the driving instructor was filling it up, so yeah. Basically, the thing that I wished I would have known beforehand is that with a motorcycle, you shouldn't stick the, like, gun thingy in all the way. I don't know what it's called in English, sorry. But you shouldn't stick it in all the way. You should stick it in like partly and then, you know, press it. And then when the tank is almost full, it'll click. But if you stick it in all the way, it'll click immediately and you won't get gas. I did not know that. I think like, yeah, like, oh, basically there's people like who have driven like other forms of like motorized vehicles in the past, but all I've driven in terms of motorized vehicles is a car, and with my car I do need to stick it in a certain way so it works on her, but you know, I can just stick it in all the way still. No, like other things intended to like pop up in your mind with that, like, don't take those words out of context basically. Anyway, but yeah, you need to stick it in the correct way, otherwise it just doesn't work. But like with my car, you know, it's still easier. And like with the motorcycle, I just did the same thing as with the car, and then it immediately clicked, and I felt really, really dumb. And it was after a night shift, so it was really early, so I couldn't call anyone for help. And I did actually manage to get enough gas, by the way, to get back home, so that's good. And then I texted my supervisor at work, because he also has a motorcycle, and then he told me to, you know, not stick it in all the way, but keep it a little bit above the bottom, and then just, you know, then, yeah, it does work. Also, you can look up, there was another advice of his, you can look up how much gas actually fits in your tank. So you can sort of guesstimate, okay, is that empty? So I probably need like 7 liters today, you know. And that works. So yeah, that's something that I would definitely love to know beforehand. And then one more thing that, like, well, it's not really something that, like, I wish I would have known beforehand, but it's something that's more of a, you really don't guess how bad it is. Like, maybe if you've ever seen, like, you definitely have seen Hollywood movies, probably. But like, and even like Resident Evil animated movies, you know, with Leon on a motorcycle. I mean, seriously, it's like highly dangerous to ride without a helmet, so just don't do that overall. But also in Hollywood movies, they usually do wear a helmet, but they sometimes have this, they have the visor open, so you can like see the actor's face. One thing they don't tell you is how incredibly gross that would be in real life. Seriously, from my house to work is like 52 kilometers. The amount of dead bugs that I have on my visor by the end of it is like freckles of dead insects. Like, it's like maybe like 20, 25 of them. It's so gross. It's so disgusting. And like, it's not that bad on the helmet, because you can just wipe it off, you know. But like, seriously, don't believe Hollywood if they ever show someone riding a motorcycle on the highway with the visor open and not show their face being covered with dead insects afterwards, because that's just what you're gonna get in real life. Seriously. So yeah, I guess one advice would be to, if you go somewhere, like obviously at work, and I could just grab some like toilet paper and water and just wipe it down. But like, if you're going somewhere where there's no like water available, maybe just bring some like wet cloths or something, like baby wipes, whatever. Something that you can clean the visor with, because trust me, you're gonna need it. Another advice is earplugs. Basically, I forgot what, like, it was louder than a rock concert. I don't remember how many decibel it was, because I did read it somewhere, but I don't remember. But if you're on the highway with the wind blowing, even if it's not actually windy, just the amount of noise it makes. For one, it makes me kind of nervous, that amount of noise, because I just don't like loud noises a lot. I like loud music, but not loud noise. And also, it can literally give you ear damage. Like, you can get, I'm not sure if it's the same name in English, but like tinnitus, where you have this like beep in your ear constantly. Or just, you could go deaf, which is also usually not something you want. Just from like how loud the wind is, because like if you're on the highway for like half an hour, you have that noise constantly in your ears that entire half an hour. This is really, really bad for your ears, and it's just also, to me at least, it's a very like annoying sound, because it just makes me nervous. So I wear earplugs now, and it's so much nicer. It just feels way calmer. It's a way more relaxing way to ride. And you protect your ears, which is also always good. There are actually specific earplugs for on the motorcycle. I haven't tried those yet though, because I once accidentally, like, I thought I was buying a bag of 20 earplugs, but I accidentally bought a bag of 200 earplugs. Sets of earplugs even. It's just a specific kind of talent that I have. But anyway, yeah. Point being, I still have a lot of earplugs, so I just use regular earplugs that you can just also use in like industry or for like sleeping. And like, as long as you don't squeeze them in all the way, you can still perfectly fine hear all the noises of like the traffic. Like, you can hear what's happening around you. You can even talk to people, but you don't hear the noise of the wind that much, which is really, really nice, because it's such a more relaxed way to ride. You just feel way more relaxed on the motorcycle, and you just don't have that constant noise in your ears, and you're protecting your ears, which is also always good. So that's something I definitely recommend as well. And then one thing that I have specific footage of, I washed my motorcycle for the first time, also to remove the aforementioned dead insects. But anyway, future self, don't forget to insert the footage here. But what I also did was I sprayed it in with an anti-corrosion spray, so like to prevent it from getting rusty and corroded, like the name suggests. Yes. Because basically, well, you know, like I don't have a garage or like even a shed to put the motorcycle in. We have we have basically a bicycle shed in the backyard, and like when I'm on vacation, I totally plan on putting it in there. However, we have like this row of houses, and then another row of houses, and another row of houses, and there's like this really narrow. It's sort of more like a fire escape that goes between, and then in like a sharp angle, and then it goes here. And then another sharp angle to get into the backyard, and then I'll have to like really make it sort of like work with like Omega 4 to even get it into the garden shed, which door is like narrower than an average door. You know, like the 2 or 3 times per year maybe that'll be like away from home for a couple of days or more. I'm totally willing to do that, but I'm not gonna do that every single freaking morning, because that's just really not... I don't want to spend half an hour every freaking morning to get out of like, you know, the street. So not gonna. So my bike is chained up in the front yard to a pole that's cemented in the ground, and there's also an alarm on it, and there is a cover on it. I already talked about that in the last video though. But even so, you know, it's not standing in a completely dry, climate controlled area. And also, if I take it to work and it's drizzling when I go back home, obviously I'm going to have to just ride through that. What else am I gonna do? So yeah, my bike is going to get wet. And therefore I want to protect it against corrosion and rust and stuff like that. And there's specific sprays they sell for that. I can't really remember what brand I bought. I think it was called MacLeod. But anyway, it's you can see it in the footage. You could see it in the footage in the beginning of the footage because I showed it. But yeah, basically the idea is you just wash the bike, dry it off mostly, and then you spray it in. Like you can completely, with most brands you can completely spray it in. It is usually recommended to not spray in the saddle. And obviously what you should never ever spray in are the brakes and the wheels, because you don't want the brakes and the wheels to get slippery, because you don't want to slip, and you also don't want your brakes to get slippery, because then you can't brake. Yeah, so obviously don't spray those in, but other than that you can just spray in the bike and it'll be protected and nourished and just happy. So yeah, I did do that. Oh, and also if you have to spray in the bike chain, never ever get it on the brakes. Like, just make sure to always avoid the brakes with anything that makes it slippery. But that's just something that's sort of logical, I suppose. Oh, and another plus of a motorcycle versus a car, by the way, it's so much quicker to clean. Like literally, like yesterday I washed the motorcycle and I washed my car, and the car took like 5 times as much time. 5 times as much time. That sounds weird, but still I think it's correct. Anyway, it took 5 times as much time to wash than the motorcycle did. And that's including the time that I spent on the motorcycle spraying it in. Just because the car is a lot bigger. And also if your motorcycle is really dirty, you can just use a pressure cleaner to just, you know, hose it down. Whereas with a car you will probably ruin the like outer side of the car with that, so don't. So yeah, just it goes so much quicker, the motorcycle. Seriously, it's so nice. Also, in our street, there's just like, you know, everyone can park anywhere. We don't have private parking spaces. But with a motorcycle, you can just put it in your front yard. So you always have guaranteed parking space right in front of your door. It's so nice. So yeah, those are 2 other things that I quite enjoy. And then one last thing, a colleague of mine asked this, if I was planning on selling my car. No, I'm not, because I don't really feel like a car and a motorcycle are interchangeable. Because you gotta keep in mind, a motorcycle you can put, for example, you can put luggage on a motorcycle and on yourself. You can wear a backpack and a hip pouch, stuff like that. You can put bags on a motorcycle, but it's just never going to be that convenient to go do full weekly grocery shopping with a motorcycle. Just in general, if you're going to buy bigger things and try to stuff it on a motorcycle, it's just going to be more difficult. So in terms of luggage, it's just easier to chuck everything in the back of a car and just be done with it. Then there's the fact that if you have more than one friend that you want to hang out with and go places with and you have to drive, well, you can fit one person behind you on a motorcycle, but that's it. So if you have 2 friends, well, you're going to have to go by car, because otherwise one of them is going to have to like take the train maybe, or walk. Yeah, that'd be kind of rude. So in terms of transportation as well, the car is more convenient. So like the way I feel is like my car is mostly for transportation and partly for fun. The motorcycle is for fun and partly for transportation. It's really just not interchangeable. And also I love riding the motorcycle, but I don't really want to ride it in winter when it's like freezing and it's really slippery out. Also, if it's raining really hard, it's quite nice to just be able to be like, not today, and just take my car instead. So yeah, in my opinion, the motorcycle and the car can coexist completely peacefully within my possession. Also, I have a smaller, like in terms of financial things, I have quite a small car, so like in terms of money, she doesn't cost a lot to have. And neither does a motorcycle, in the Netherlands at least. So like that's, you know, easier than if you have like a huge SUV that you pay a lot of like taxes for. You know, it's just, yeah, so a small car and a motorcycle are just a good combination in my opinion. So yeah, those are my assorted tips and tricks that I've gathered in my now 3 or 4 weeks of riding a motorcycle. Prepare for the dead insects, that's basically the main thing. Anyway, seriously though, I still really love it. I'm still so glad that I got the license and that I got the motorcycle. I really enjoy it, and I'm also really enjoying it how I just feel that I get more and more experience with it and just more comfortable with it. It's so nice. So yeah, I'm still really happy with it. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please click the like button. It would really help me out. I hope that it was useful to you if you are maybe thinking of getting a motorcycle as well, or thinking about getting lessons, or maybe just got your own motorcycle and are looking for tips and tricks. And yeah. Also, if you want to subscribe to my channel, please do so. I mostly actually do makeup tutorials, but I also do videos about the motorcycle, nail art, and basically whatever else I can possibly think of. Yeah. This is sort of a random YouTube channel, I suppose. Anyway, for now, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!